We're in Jesse's home now, and Jesse, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I think first off, I consider myself an artist, and I work in many different mediums, but they include sculpture, and usually the sculptures are dwellings of some sort, and photography, medium format, film photography, and drawing, graphite drawing. I think that the work in sculpture and art is very much influenced by my experience growing up as a carpenter, learned the trade from my father, and also becoming involved in farming in my very early 20s, and spending over a decade now working in small local organic farming and getting to know the Bay Area community, which I think is really thriving in that field. I'm getting things like cheese from Andante Dairy, and also from Point Reyes, which is just like the most exceptional cheeses that you can get, I think. And then I'm also getting most of my produce comes from Dirty Girl. These are some examples of some of the lettuces. Crazer Ranch sells, a lot of the meat that I get, beef and hot dogs and sausages and that kind of thing. So most everything in my fridge, I have June Taylor does these preserves and ketchup, and anything that is at all canned that I would not do myself, she usually has, and she's just incredible. She operates out of Berkeley. This cabinet, which I found, I think, at Builders Resources, which is in town, and they have recycled lumber and cabinets and materials, and it's beautiful redwood, and it was painted on the inside and the outside. It was sort of falling apart, the paint was, and so recognizing that it was really nice redwood, I went ahead and stripped all of the paint off of it, and I think it really has changed the function of that kind of cabinet. And so I'm interested in finding things like that can operate in my budget and that I don't need to build it. I can strip it. It maybe took an afternoon for me to prep this in a way that I've been able to use it, and it's really beautiful old growth redwood, which is hard to come by anyway. There are shops in the East Bay that produce beautiful tables and bookshelves using Japanese joinery techniques, and those are out of my budget, but things that I would certainly love to be able to have in my home. But you would stick to the handmade? Yes, definitely stick to the handcrafted and that sort of very intimate scale of I think it kind of relates to the ideas that I was talking about with farming. Like some of the furniture maker that I'm thinking of, specifically Live Edge in Oakland, almost all of his wood he mills himself, and he gets it from the East Bay or from the Bay Area, from tree companies that are taking down groves of trees or whatever they need to do, and so he mills that down and then he makes furniture out of it. And so I know everything about where the furniture that I would be getting from him comes from, and that full cycle, that whole, that I know everything about something that I have. So you had talked about the importance of craft and design and just craftsmanship. Maybe you could talk about that in terms of some of the clothes and shoes that you purchase. These boots have been great. I've had them for almost 5 years now. Frye boots are made in the United States by hand, and I think that the quality and the way that these have lasted and how they're holding up and how they're weathering in is just beautiful. I think that they're a really good looking pair of boots, and I think that that all of the stitching on it is still perfectly fine. The heel, all of it is holding up really well. I expect that I'll be able to resole these and have these for 20 plus years, and I think that that's the kind of thing that I can look to in a lot of American made shoes, materials, these kinds of things. I like it that it's local and that I know that it's keeping the economy, at least within the United States, and keeping people employed and keeping the money flowing that way. I appreciate, and just the craftsmanship and the quality in the boot I think is invaluable, and something that I'm willing to pay a little bit extra more for as a sort of singular investment. Also, occasionally I will splurge and get like these jeans. I think are really, really beautiful.
What kind of jeans are they?
Rally Denim. It's a couple that makes all of their jeans by hand in their machines in North Carolina. And I mean, there's just like some of the details on them are exquisite. Knowing that it's denim from North Carolina, made from denim in town, and then they make the jeans there, I think is really, it says a lot about, again, that kind of holistic, well-rounded approach. You know, like all of the material came from North Carolina. They made them in North Carolina. I bought them here in San Francisco, but they feel like they're gonna last for a really, really long time, and I like knowing that, and I like knowing that like somebody made these by hand with care and, you know, with love. You know, I think that that's really important.